Ok, on va pouvoir continuer. Disco Elysium. Hier, on avait enfin réussi à passer l'écluse. On avait commencé le village de pêcheurs. On va pouvoir le continuer aujourd'hui. On avait découvert qu'on avait planté notre propre voiture dans le sol. Il est quelle heure? Il est 11h43.
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted.
Et ouais, la porte de la cabane à café.
I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangement. But just so you know, after we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now.
Ok. Logique, ok.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest.
Pas encore loin de dormir, ok. Oui, vague et mère et l'église, ok.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with...
Ok.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Est-ce que c'est... Est-ce qu'on aura déjà le bon choix?
The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red, hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. You'll be looking like a pansy without the chops. A fucking pansy. A fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. The surface underneath the beard feels tender. The air brushing against it, chill. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so.
Oh mon dieu, oh, c'est
A
horrible.
feeling of freshness overcomes you, as if you just came from a cold bath.
Est-ce que ça aurait été le bon choix?
The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe. The beardless nature of your cheeks makes the expression seem even more like a terrifying grimace. A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum.
Excusez-moi, on m'a dérangé. Avant vérifiant de Kotoki. Écoutez.
The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold and windy, but you're inside, and it feels safe and warm.
What is this place to you?
On a lieu de prédiction, je peux m'asseoir, boire et mourir en science. La base de version, c'est sur la côte, c'est gratuit. Puisque je suis dans, je peux aller ici. On dirait qu'on est au foyer, mais je me demande. Je vais passer l'autre.
Westward, across the canal, towers the whirling in rags. Door number 1 on the second floor is locked. Behind it lies a trashed room. 1 floor below, behind a counter, stands an irritable man. In a small shack in the fishing village, a baroque heater hums quietly, emanating a sense of comforting warmth. A wash basin lies on the table, the water inside reflecting the somber face of the world. Far away, on the corner of Perdition and Main, a nondescript building obscured in a haze. It's vacant and lost, just like its tenant.
Ah, c'est étrange, transition pour l'évasion correcte de la situation actuelle.
Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice.
Look under the floorboards.
Regarde sur le parquet. Comment ça?
An old mirror hangs on the wall.
Chimie,
You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to you. Still not happening.
Fuck. Faudra que j'augmente l'électrochimie. Hein.
Yes?
Je me suis rasé.
Yes. I don't know what to say.
Que se passe-t-il? Je veux dire,
Perhaps
Kim.
I'm not really sure about this turn of events. I think the mutton chops might have been a better idea. They sort of seem to cover up some of the
Damage.
Either way, good on you.
Panneau est visible sur les graffitis. S'il d'entrevoir les détails, cependant, les couleurs chaudes et chaleureuses confortent. Ça, c'est sur l'intérieur, je l'intérieur, pas comme à l'extérieur.
Hello, mister.
Dans un coin entier serait pas regard avec
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Tu es la fille de Liliane?
Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom?
Et on s'est déjà rencontrés.
That's nice. My mom is great. She's never angry or anything.
C'est quoi ça? Montrer l'oiseau empaillé au crochet.
It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace the broken scooter you almost certainly broke.
Ah, là-bas, je connais quelqu'un qui adore les oiseaux empaillés.
Sure, just go and get it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry.
All right. You just need to grab it from the ceiling and go.
C'est quoi que tu tiens en montrant sur
It's
le...
Lammy. He's my friend. So,
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
En haut, a l'air tout doux.
yes, very soft.
Puis là, je joue contre... Bon,
Isn't he soft?
hop.
Bye.
Ok. Oh. Le morceau de charbon industriel brûle. Non, choqué.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old.
Ah, du
The
jumeau.
other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
Ça doit être les jumeaux de Liliane.
This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker.
Lily's our mum.
Ça, j'ai dit.
The stone kicker laughs suddenly. His head is too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. Maybe there's some kind of reason why they're laughing. An interesting reason,
Pourquoi
somehow
vous
tied
rigolez?
to the cake. The boy stops laughing and looks at his toes. Oh, okay. So now he's shy. Now he's not talking. Just wobbling around like he's afraid of something.
Cette petite Lily, sa haute sœur désignait la maison.
Yes.
Oui,
Yes.
tout. Pourquoi être aussi laconique alors?
It doesn't look like he knows what that means.
On semblait comme deux gouttes d'eau.
The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of.
He looks just like me.
Ouais, j'ai déjà dit.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt. The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
You're bad with kids. Don't worry, everyone is. How about we do some police work now? We're not getting anything here.
Au revoir les enfants. juste récupérer les pièces là. Alors, les clodos.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
Content de vous revoir l'ami.
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
Des amphètes.
Aye, by amphetamine, I mean speed.
Ok,
Good,
pigé.
good, my man. Now what can I offer you?
Je peux savoir pourquoi une bouteille de spiritueux coûte 300 réals?
See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture.
Personne ne peut s'offrir une bouteille de spiritueux pour 300 réals, c'est de la folie.
You know what's crazy, actually?
On dirait quoi donc?
What?
Quoi? Qu'est-ce qui est dingue?
This guy.
Conversation might bring a discount, no?
Est-ce que vous avez vu ces bouteilles de spiritueux?
Oh, this is medicinal spirits. The good stuff. Got it from the doctor's office. I got one of those scientific ampoules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink. Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go.
Ouais, si je devrais le noter quelque part.
It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of hell. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor's office. Not a charity, the real thing. Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all.
Comment vous avez fait?
The idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead thingies. Fight 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila! What's left is this beautiful blue stuff. 98.7% almost pure alcohol.
Ah oui.
2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here. But this last one is yours for 3 real, if you want it.
Ça dérange, ça livre d'abord?
Yeah, be careful. It's extremely flammable. One spark and the entire city of Revachon is wiped off the map.
Feels like someone set a mustard field ablaze right inside your nose, then drenched it in tear gas. Your nose is a singular source of pain, but at the same time you don't remember the last time you felt so alive.
So, what's the deal, friend? Want the spirits or not?
Je pense que ça me sera utile, oui.
3 real and it's yours, friend. The deal of a lifetime. Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend. In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
Ok. Objet. Prix 6 réal MDR. C'est quoi la baisse? Ça me donne quoi, esprit? Ok. Ah, j'ai déjà un plus dans logique. Je vais juste regarder si... Hop.
The legend!
Ah si, ok.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail!
Qui est Abigail?
Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you fucking call...
Abigail is his wife or girlfriend. Chances are she's gone. Calling her wouldn't make it any better or worse. Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life. But this guy's a little too drunk.
Ok.
Don't call Abigail.
Hey, Tequila!
Tequila!
Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you?
Sérieusement.
So what's happening?
Tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
Good. These people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later.
Peut-être un avoir été pour ça vie moi la volonté.
That's the spirit. I used to shape reality into my image a long time ago. Those days are over now. Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom's Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
This guy's your buddy. You feel it immediately. You belong to an organization, a fraternity.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites dans le train?
We are saving the world.
Please! Please don't call.
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now, it's a pirate's life for me. It's you. You're Tequila Sunset.
Comment ça ça?
We've met before. Don't you remember?
No.
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be?
Tequila Sunset. Something ominous there.
Pour une raison que j'ignore, la prononciation me gagne quand j'entends le nom de Tequila. Oui, on rester là.
You think you feel bad now? Wait till you've heard the story.
No. You need the wisdom.
Vas-y.
Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday, and by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth.
Vous êtes en train de me dire qu'on s'est rencontrés vendredi?
Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting.
Okay.
You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk.
Huh.
Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, that's totally your style. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
Continuez, je vous écoute. Ouais, c'est la première fois qu'on m'appelle quand on parle.
Hey man, I'm not judging. This life's a valley of woes. Some of the highest concept people in history have killed themselves. And been drunks.
Oh, ça déconne, chier. Hop, tant pis.
Either way, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, got our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs. Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs. The time hath come! So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come. To which you replied, The time hath come for tequila sunset, the end of all things.
Ah, on dirait pas qu'on sa dignité.
After which, your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice.
Your hands cramp on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit. Like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you that from then on.
En réalité, je m'appelle Harry.
No, that's just what your mother called you. Your real name is Tequila Sunset. Just embrace it, brother.
Combien de temps on a fait la fête?
Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
Est-ce que j'ai donné des détails sur cette personne qui m'a bien baisé?
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
Please, don't open that door.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here.
Abigail! It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs.
À plus tard.
You too, Tequila Sun.
On ne parle pas de ça, Kim, ok? Tu n'as rien vu, tu n'as rien entendu, ça ne s'est jamais passé.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence.
Quel était l'odeur de la fumée?
Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance.
Qui sont les gens qui vivent de l'autre côté de la route?
A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware. His boyfriend is on his way home. He brings tins of meat and vegetables with him. Their pockets are heavier with money, but only slightly. Number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost. Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade.
Ça suffit.
The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair.
Ok. Prolongé par la rouille mazout. Ok. Oh, la thune. Ah, la motomotrice atterrit dans ses rouleaux. Voyage rapide déverrouillé, église. On peut se déplacer rapidement? Putain, je ne savais pas ça. Je savais pas. Ok, le perso qui veut pas.
Yes?
Ok, bon, ça veut pas. Ouais, non. C'est bugué. Hop. Un poisson autour du piquet, c'est super d'obscurité. L'adresse envoyée uniquement à ABC de l'autre côté. Il y a beaucoup à explorer, hein, putain. Ok, par là, il n'y a rien. Fais la patience pour faire ça.
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh, hello there.
It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must be freezing. Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
Il fait froid, mon enfant. Tu n'as pas de bonnet pour te couvrir la tête?
Huh?
Enfin, mieux de te mettre un bonnet.
So should you.
You don't have to do anything.
Attends, où est-ce que je peux vendre des chiens dans le coin?
I don't know, some kind of a store? Maybe a general store? Look, man, fuck the hat.
Your pulse rises. What did she just say? That's not how a civilian is supposed to address an officer of the law.
C'est qui commande?
Lots of feeling.
Ah, fuck.
Feel it up. Way up.
J'y crois pas, on s'en branle du bonnet, c'est pas ce que tu viens de me dire, non mais c'est pas vrai, mon rêve.
You're saying it really loud, but it's not coming out right. Maybe add more indignation.
Du coup, c'est quoi l'idée? Que je me trouve un bonnet et que je me branle avec? C'est si en fait, de façon du futur bonnet hypothétique soit on a une situation dans un bonnet juste là sous les yeux parce que tu vas décater sur la vergelée.
More.
Un vergelé, c'est ça?
More.
Comme si la fond ou couper purement et simplement respiration. C'est bien ce que tu veux me voir baiser un bonnet sur la glace, non?
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
The lieutenant is watching the scene unfold before his eyes, unsure
Oh non,
how
je vais
to
passer à travers la
react.
glace. Jeter sur la place sa mère glacée en désignant la glace dans les grands mouvements des deux mains, comme pour présenter la zone de l'action serait censée se
The
dérouler.
girl looks down, slowly curling into a ball. That's it. You've earned it. Start crying. Life's hard.
Ouais, c'est la faute du un tel langage, on lui sait pas ici, tu dois.
The words are stuck in your throat. All that comes out is tears pouring down your face. The young woman has kept her eyes trained on her wires, waiting for the lecture to end. But now she hears sobbing. Looking up, she sees a grown man on the wrong side of 40, his face bloated from alcohol, and God knows what else.
This isn't really about the hat, is it?
Je vais mettre un bonnet, voilà, c'est tout ce que je voulais te dire.
I swear to God, I will always wear a hat from now on.
Ça te va si je te pose quelques questions maintenant?
You know, you're not the only one with issues. I self-medicate. Shit. Life's a horror, you know? Crying helps, though. Get it out your system. And then maybe we can talk, okay? So, like, seriously...
There is a hint of pity in her eye. Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark...
Okay, bye.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, Kim?
Do you want to talk about what just happened?
Sans doute une bonne idée.
Normally, I'm opposed to discussing one's feelings, especially on duty. But I think this is an exceptional case. So, what do you think happened?
Me convainc que vous n'avez pas fondu en larmes à l'instant.
Thy pen of lies runneth dry. Best to simply deny the truth.
Ouais, il ne s'est rien passé.
So you're saying you didn't break down in tears just now and nearly tear your shirt off?
J'avais plus rien de vie. Pour me torturer, me demander le divorce que je serais de ma... Oui, monsieur.
Yes, I've definitely never seen you cry before, nor lent you my handkerchief to dry your tears.
Methinks my liege doth protest too much. A performance that would make the star of a radio melodrama blush.
Even so, in the future, could you please refrain from emoting too much on duty? The quasi-legal status of the RCM means we need to project strength twice as consistently as any other police force in the world.
D'accord, je contrôle mes émotions.
Good. Controlling your emotions sounds good. Glad to hear it was minor. Can you go on?
Oui, c'est mon devoir après tout.
Then, let's go.
On va triper comme jamais avec Kim. Combien de pourcents avec ça de succès? 2,2. Ah d'accord, ok. Le pire des flics. Oh.
Hello again.
On peut discuter un instant?
I was wondering when you would come around.
Peut-être quelque chose qui me rend la vie impossible, c'est vrai.
What is it?
Je crois que c'est la détresse de la classe ouvrière. Tout le monde vit au crochet des entrepreneurs, ceux qui s'agissent de pièges. Je crois que les étrangers qui volent les emplois. Faut toujours que les gens fassent passer leur intérêt personnel avant le bien commun en fait.
Oh, really?
Ah ouais, les gens comprennent pas que le progrès ça demande des sacrifices parfois, franchement, c'est vraiment ça.
So, the thing that's got you crying in front of strangers is the slow pace of social progress?
Oui, sûr et certain, sinon j'avais d'autres questions à te poser.
Sure.
Comment est-ce que tu t'appelles?
Estelle.
Quel est ton nom de famille?
Why?
La police, c'est pour la paperasse.
Okay, it's Berger.
A very common name. You have little reason to doubt that's a real name. But she's not all that surprised by this cop show questioning, is she?
C'est quoi cet appareil?
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still.
Et les câbles?
Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone.
Un micro de contact.
A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
Comment ça marche, ce truc?
The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble.
Où t'as trouvé ce micro?
Same place I got the recorder from, the Palaceum.
Colissane?
Oh man, you haven't been to the Palaceum? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck.
Thinking about it really cheers her up. It's a long way from here, though.
C'est intéressant, qui est ce Arnaud?
Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Palaceum-going kind of person.
J'ai la fièvre du samedi soir.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, fuck. Oh putain, je bouffe de Funko Pop.
I don't know what that means either.
Dire que malgré mon âge, je suis branché.
That's cool.
On peut pas savoir trop quoi dire sur le temps à déserter.
Sucks, man.
En fait,
Was there something else?
Questions
About the contact mic,
rien à voir avec
perhaps?
le micro.
Okay.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais dans le froid?
Recording, I guess.
Tes enregistrements... Qu'est-ce que tes enregistrements exactement?
I think I'm recording cracks in the ice. But there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound.
Mais quel est-il arrivé aux écouteurs?
My boyfriend sold them.
Moi, je quoi?
I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
Everything checks out, sire.
Quoi sert ces enregistrements de fissure de pain?
The musicians in the Palaceum used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway.
The girl is cold all of a sudden. Very cold.
I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
She looks at the recording device, the thing she thought would fill her hours with joy and escape. It's turning out to be an empty fantasy. She feels childish, very useless all of a sudden.
Take this, you're cold.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that.
It's okay.
C'est maintenant qu'un chapeau serait utile.
Yeah, maybe you were right about the hat.
Tu dis que c'est censé être une discothèque, de quoi tu veux parler?
That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum or something. Stupid. It's really not going to be a Palaceum, that's for sure.
Garçons?
Yeah. Andre and the guys, they're inside, in the tent.
And why is that?
Pourquoi tu te les gèles dehors alors que les garçons sont intérieurs?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. No room.
Du matos?
Music stuff, mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's piles of it.
Pourquoi pas sortir une partie matérielle pour être te jeter dehors?
That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter. I can take the cold.
Encore d'autres questions.
Go ahead.
Parle-moi de la discothèque que vous voulez installer dans l'église.
It's supposed to become like a club for anodic dance music, like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Palaceum. Except that, yeah.
The floorboards are twisting, and the shooting beams are slowly cracking, like bones. Far east of the Golden Delta, beyond the industrial port, there is a black patch of unlit coast with the smallest creatures on the ice. There will never be a club for anodic music here. Not in a million years.
Quoi la devenais danse musique?
You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments.
Compris. Un son électronique comme quoi?
Synthesizers and tape consoles.
Ah.
Microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also found sounds, stuff like that.
You see clear, beautiful, violent flashes of light. Light cutting through a smoke-filled darkness. That is what the future will look like. If it ever comes.
Tu me comprends, tu veux transformer l'église en discothèque.
I know. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey, you two are cops.
Et pourquoi tu poses la question?
Okay, well... Maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys. Because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right?
Je vais aller leur parler.
They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else?
C'est par l'église. J'ai une autre question.
Go ahead.
Question ont pas l'air de te perturber, comment ça se fait?
Well, it's just questioning, right? You're just questioning me. It's what cops do.
Tu as déjà été interrogé?
Once or twice, yeah.
Oh, il pleut. Incroyable.
I'm sorry I haven't had the Revachol experience they get east of the river.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a à l'est de la rivière?
Rich people. Rich people are east of the river.
Étrange, licence de géologie, je me suis sauté aussi en accord, bon à savoir.
Yeah.
Alors quel genre d'ennui as-tu eu, la police?
The usual. I had a shitty run as a teenager.
Quoi le grand classique?
You know, drinking, getting into fights. The ugly stuff that happens when you move out your parents' place at 13. In Forberg.
Tu es parti chez toi à un si jeune âge?
My dad was a drunk. Plus, I guess, I just wanted to drink too, you know. Get my party on.
Boire, faire la fête, écouter la musique dispo. Un gros fêtard, un énorme fêtard.
Alright.
Le magnétophone traîne sur la glace quand je vais abandonner, là, c'est...
The device is cold to the touch. An angular Omicron logo adorns the yellow plastic cover. Underneath, you see a reel of tape rolling. You put the device back on the ice.
Ok. Symbole très beau, cette affiche est recouverte de petits humanoïdes. Plutôt que lancé dans la...
A pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
Ok. Ok.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Continuez.
Come on! Get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
It's safe to assume this is their leader. Or at least he thinks he is.
Sorry, you barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
Ok.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
Bah, nickel. Et on remplit d'un liquide ressemblant à de l'eau, ce qui est d'ici. Par leur comme on disait pour les concerts.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Welshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret.
Hardcore!
Ne rien dire.
Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega! Internally coherent.
Je me demandais si tu savais qui habitait le mercenaire pendu à right.
Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yakokata, the place to be!
Non, ça me dire que ça n'a pas grand chose à voir avec un référent.
It's the message, so listen and you will see. No illusions, the spirit is what you feel.
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Hop.
Go speak to Andre. I'm just annoyed.
Si je veux te parler en premier.
I suck at socializing, man. If you go speak to Andre, I'll have time to tune in, get a reading on your sign.
Maybe you should just stand there, watch him rattle his toolbox, get to know his sign. The contents of the young man's toolbox are organized in a neat yet eclectic manner. He is constantly checking out the various tools and parts and rearranging them slightly. It's a bit hypnotizing if you look at it long enough.
I have all kinds of screws.
Fais quoi avec tout ça?
These are my consumer items and my means of production. I enjoy them. Talk to Andre. No point in standing here. The signs are really out of tune.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
An egghead. Egg! Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
On a organisé combien de concerts jusqu'ici?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites ici?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
Faut acheter ton langage. Je vais faire quelque chose pour aider ton amie Estelle. Elle m'a dit que tu avec l'église.
Ah, so you've met her. Good, good. Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face.
Pas la peine d'en faire des tonnes. De quoi est-ce que vous parlez?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads! Burnouts!
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened.
Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that. In Revachol.
Strike that! The world!
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are.
Yes. And the worst part is, they're also spooky. I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for. All right, man.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchange giddy looks.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
It's as if time has frozen somehow. You think you can sense the key moving in the air. Yeah, this is going to be way cool. Blam! Straight in the eye. Straight in the old eye orb. In the looking ball. Man up. It's nothing. Pick the goddamn key up. Put it in your pocket and move on.
My bad.
He looks like he's genuinely sorry he didn't throw them better.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah.
The young man with the...
This is hardcore. It's hardcore! Skibberdee, skibber danger.
Your cop training did not prepare you for this.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid? That's fine, man. But I've got to warn you, our signs are still off. It'll take some time for me to get my sigh on. The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment.
It's not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of signs without some adjustment.
I'm doing what I can.
It's not easy for him. It probably took him years to get used to Andre.
Ok, peut-être que j'en aurai plus tard. Ok. Alors, on va pas aller dans l'église tout de suite. Alors écrit Saint-Brune. L'homme d'un énorme bâtiment tombé dessus. Jeté à sa mort, il empêche encore la mazout. J'aurais servi autrefois à faire tourner les machines entièrement.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while.
It's military. A service depot of some sort. The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Est-ce que j'ai de quoi? Affinité mécanique. Nope. Ah, de toute façon, on pourra tenter plus tard.
An old door, worn by element. You rattle the handle a bit, then push on the door with all your weight. It does not budge. Not only is it locked, it's also jammed shut.
We don't get in there.
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Jusqu'à présent, on pouvait aussi... On a réussi à rentrer par...
Frankly, You're just going to have to accept the fact that you can't get in through every single door.
Alors la question, cette porte pas bien avoir un lien avec notre enquête.
Relax. No one's hiding in there. If we can't open it, others can't either.
J'ai envie de mettre un point d'électrochimie. On va tenter après mes trucs de visage. Quelqu'un a fait de calendrier ici alors encore. J'ai de calendrier cassé pour le piano radio. Là-dessus. Permet à peine de gérer le trafic naval de la baie. Oh, frisson physique. Ah, dommage. On a percé des petits crics au loin avec des pitiés. Ouais, non, c'est mieux. C'est mieux ça. Est-ce que les trucs qui me fait du négatif? Non. Hop là. C'est le côté sud, alors ce que je veux pas le choix. Rhétorique, empathie, ok. On va repasser avec mon pull là, voilà ça. Ça fait de corps, frisson, hop. Vas-y, on va prendre ça, hop, plutôt. Téléphone, alors ça va se fracasser comme si quelqu'un a approché ton voiture, trop finalement. Et c'est de toute façon pour démolir nos plastiques.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
On l'a combiné.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Il fonctionne.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should end of tone. Someone.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
Peut-être à quoi ressemble Pierre.
So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died.
On se sent seul même quand on est compagnie.
Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's different. There. Chrysanthemum.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a par ici? Ça j'ai déjà été. Bon, on couvre les longues fenêtres de poussière. Ah, je crois que c'est le truc abandonné ça. L'électricité est inextricable, il est possible de l'entendre.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
Pourquoi pas?
It's a guano-encrusted jacket, and you're already carrying around enough as it is.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Oh, ça peut devenir aussi crade.
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck. Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
Fuck. Des bouteilles d'alcool, on prend. Lunettes, encyclopédie, perception, ok. On ressent pas la poche en rouge, le goûte. Balance payante, un petit depuis une décennie. Carte postale, une couronne, année 33. Ok. Des sous. Plein d'argent, on prend. Gros feu à vent, il est ouvert, évite.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
C'est vite, c'est horrible, souffrir d'un nez.
It doesn't help. You can still smell it.
C'est un cadavre, là?
Keep it in now. Don't overreact. Breathe.
Qu'est-ce ici?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. That faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear.
Quelque chose cloche.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Ce manche la peau est peu résistante.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter.
A tragedy.
Tragédie. Un peu les yeux mis à cause de...
He shakes his head with genuine sadness.
Le paquet de cigarettes.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra.
Le kebab.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol.
Ok. Le cadavre.
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom-made. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine or 1.5 of spirits. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age approximately 50 to 60 years. He was confused when he died. confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all, he was just about to head home. The first step back home proved to be his last.
Examine les alentours.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is where he came out of himself, drop by drop, when he was unconscious. It took 3, maybe 4 minutes.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
Difficile à dire.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
Marcher sur la
They
planche.
screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile.
Examine la
A
bouteille.
.75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time.
Tear all around us.
Comme ça, on va te
I'd
savoir.
prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
True. It feels disrespectful.
Examine le papier de chewing gum.
Rubowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Regardez à l'intérieur.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too?
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario, even the chewing gum.
In a ditch off a road below the 881, he thinks. A young father. Then he shakes his head to make the memory stop.
Okay,
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Qui est cet homme?
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
At least this man knew how to party. Imagine the same scene without the bottle. Now that would be just sad. This is an omen, a sign from above. Don't start drinking again.
Sang, j'aurais pu finir comme lui, mort sur une promenade déserte avec des bouteilles pas de mon
Well, at least you're not married.
Son doigt de la main gauche, la chair grise et gonflée de tout.
Or, what if you are?
But let's try to not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk.
Il s'est passé quoi, à votre avis?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Ouais, qu'il était saoul.
Oh yes.
Il a fait une intoxication alcoolique et insuffisance hépatique.
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
Ma foi.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
Qu'est-ce qu'on fait de
From
lui?
where I stand, I can see 2 options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
On ne fait pas une autopsie sur site?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work.
C'est pas un peu trop simple?
Maybe, but we don't really have much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest.
On l'a trouvé, on doit charger.
Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
Interagir, hop. Carte de bibliothèque.
The library card is folded into 2 and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53.
Ok, on regarde à l'intérieur.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Ok, regardez au verso.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours 900 to 1800.
Ok.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Méjean.
Ok. Alors, service depuis des années, ok. On va éviter de rester là pour tomber. C'est sûrement de la gueule de l'air savoureuse de fermentation. Ok. On va pas retourner tout de suite à la voiture.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
C'est le vent intérieur.
Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase.
Maintenant, vous allez voir ce qu'il y a à l'intérieur.
No. I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer. Maybe some other small talk.
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Okay.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D.
Okay.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here.
Nice to meet you.
Attendez, en hypertexte.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Par contre, vous connaissez Kim?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Okay.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut trouver de fascinant dans le bâtiment vide?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
Je fais tomber au soleil. Vous êtes tous les 4 en train de mettre la fraise devant vous.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Okay.
Hold on. What's R&D? It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
Les gens ont entendu parler de film electrical avant. Hop.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
Indeed.
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers, they used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans le Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention. Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Womty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Womty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world.
Le centre Womty Dum, Paul Ockerman, Gage, puis rien du tout à ce qu'on racontait.
The Womty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to... In fact, I'm not. The Womty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing. Even one would be very useful. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to the precious device. But so they did. The failed playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Pourquoi les révolutionnaires l'ont détruit?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building. But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling.
Of course, Detective, I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
Parfait, merci pour toutes ces informations intéressantes.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Michael here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Des sous. Moitié d'alimentation qui ne plus rien, il est vide. Prends. Oh, c'est peut-être les cryptozoologues là. Tiens, bloqué, impossible de passer par là. C'est quoi le monde précaire dans l'ensemble d'Oumti Oumti? Suggestion -1 étranger. Ok. Hop là. Je crois que là il y a les cryptozoologues. Ça en prend, hop. Pas de bateau dans l'hangar à bateau aujourd'hui. Mise en scène. Collection analytique. Fuck. Pas de lunettes qui vont bien, qui donnent que des bonus, c'est dommage. Calcul, construite avec minutie. Des sous. Plein d'argent, j'aime l'argent. Les lourds barrages militaires sont crivés de balles, c'est des dégâts. Une bûche est trempée avec une odeur d'essence, mais elles ne prennent quand même pas feu.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Huh.
His self-conscious enthusiasm renders his movements ungainly. He looks like your understanding of a scientist.
Continuez.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
On doit être mort avec le cryptozoologue.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Rien ne m'envoie, elle se fait du souci. Et souhaite que vous rentrez.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the A81.
L'écluse a été réparée, j'ai traversé à pied.
Oh, good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
Parle-moi de ce fameux phasmidé.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
Pourquoi est-ce qu'il est si difficile à dénicher?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialized techniques to protect itself from predators or scientists in our present
Quels
case.
sont les mécanismes de défense dans le phasmidé pour se cacher?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defenses that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex.
Il est en train de me sortir un scénario d'X-Men que j'ai regardé tout à l'heure.
But I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid.
Quelle est la taille du phasmidé?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodeozoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
Seems puny, to be honest.
Qu'est-ce qui vous fascine autant chez ce phasmidé aussi pittoresque que les autres critters dont j'ai entendu parler?
typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it stayed hidden so long,
would be glory itself.
Qu'avez-vous découvert jusqu'ici?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
Personne n'a jamais réussi à le surprendre?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
Huh.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
Qu'est-ce qui vous fait penser que le phasmid est à Martinez?
There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree. Despite not knowing what it was, it's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Peut-être que ça a aidé un siludien s'est éteint.
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Parthénogenèse?
Yes. The females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
Un terme pour la reproduction par elle-même, genre que l'un peut devenir femelle, mâle, genre. C'est un mal qui a une mascarade, c'est un crime contre le patient, la raison. C'est ni chaud ni
And
froid.
it shouldn't. Nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions. As a scientist, my interest is strictly dispassionate.
There's nothing dispassionate about the way he talks about the insect.
Et là, ça devant un gros entier.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection.
Je savais pas que Lena accordait autant d'importance au phasmidé.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Ah bon, elle a vu le phasmidé.
Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
Suffice to say, It's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Si Antonio Rowling le temps de réchauffer quitte à vérifier les pièges plus tard.
No, no, no. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this.
Pourrons peut-être vous aider à vérifier les pièges.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
Cryptologie et le métier d'enquêteur sont assez similaires.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Où sont les pièges?
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
Soit de connaissance justifiée cette quête. Like ça.
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
On est qu'un phasmide dans la nature.
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week. Wise choice.
This is the smell of dying reeds, of longing crumbling into the water.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
Je suis censé faire quoi si je trouve un phasmide dans un piège?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
Je peux m'y mettre.
Right, which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
Parlez-moi de ces pièges.
Well,
they
may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
C'est Lena qui a conçu les pièges. Comment marchent les pièges?
Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel, and, having eaten its fill, can get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
Qu'est-ce que vous disiez comme appât?
Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm.
Qu'est-ce que vous comptez faire si les pièges ne marchent pas?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
Je peux vous poser une autre question?
Yes. What?
Je m'en vais.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
C'est bon, je vois rien d'intéressant.
You don't have a reason to.
Quoi tu parles?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time.
Juste objet. Outils. Ok. Ah, c'est de faire partir un feu près de l'océan. C'est près de l'océan, ok. Partie de la côte est hébergée par des signes, ok.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring. Behind you, the ruins of a residential building rise over the reeds, shielding them from the wind. The reeds rustle confidently. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly painted facades. Nowhere for drunks.
Les sous, hop. On va juste apprendre ça, hop. Ah non, je veux. Voilà, ça comme ça. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Regardez qu'il y a encore des impacts de balles.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days. Nothing for us to do here. Let's move along.
Des balles sur place, pour faire Jerical. Projection analytique, est-ce que j'ai des objets qui augmentent ça? Oui. Projection analytique. Hop. Je ne pense pas que j'ai plus. Si en perception, non. Ok.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, unable to piece together the scattering of bullet holes.
Fuck. Un casque qui n'est plus dans le service, ok. Ah, quelque chose ici. Planche craque dans leur coup, vous voyez dessus, soyez pas dans. Non seulement on est pas sur les lasers, en plus c'est inaccessible, ok. Logique, perception, ok. Oula. On va pas porter ça, hein. Hop. Ça c'est le dernier qu'il a installé, il a dit. Hop. On va aller voir les autres d'abord. Alors journal, inspecter les pièges. Inspecter le piège dans le finistère au nord, bâtiment de fait. C'est inspecter les pièges qui bien c'est comprendre que ce jeu, c'est des pièges pendant Guerre Battle West. Quelqu'un traversé, ok. Ça j'ai déjà visité. Je me demande pourquoi les appels deviennent parfois intenables. Normalement il y a un truc ici, hop. Plus au nord.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh. The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end. Surrounding the narrow strip of land, locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten.
Big surprise. Anyway, one down, 3 to go.
C'est vrai qu'il soit le premier, soit dans le sourire, je n'ai pas trouvé que ce soit, j'ai dit quelque chose.
I meant no offense, just...
Nothing has changed.
Ok. Ok, donc ça on a fait. hangar à bateau. Est-ce que ça peut bien être ça par contre? Ça, je vais pas examiner. Pas sûr qu'on essaie de... Ok. Rien ici, rien ici.
You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody?
Personne ne me vient à l'esprit.
You and the seagull are just alike.
Pourquoi je suis pas avec une mouette?
Think about the seagull's story. It's one of endurance and adaptation. The seaside was paradise once. They were birds of that paradise. Then their paradise became Shit City. And what did they do? They became urban survivors, eating burgers out of trash cans, killing and eating pigeons. No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsters, just like you.
Non, qu'est-ce que j'ai mangé? Putain, ça va, je fais tout ce qu'il faut penser. Je suis la mouette.
Own it. Steal hot dogs. Shit in the sand. Whatever it takes to keep going.
Je ferai tout pour survivre. Chier dans le sable. Hop. Hop là. Là, y a rien. Y a pas de truc là. Non. Je pensais qu'il y avait une ombre d'humain ici. Ok, tant pis. Ah, le hangar à bateau, c'est où? Peut-être là-bas? C'est ça? Non, c'est pas ça. Déjà, il y a un banc de poissons nageant dans le baraque. Non. Est-ce que je loupe un truc totalement? Là, c'est le bateau. Ah, là, il y a un piège. Là, je crois que c'est pour l'écluse. Ouais, c'est pour l'écluse.
A familiar apparatus lies.
En devant, oui, les défenses en béton. Okay.
A familiar apparatus. The reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. You see slabs of concrete north. In the east, the city center hums to you. The constant distance. This trap is also full of panicked locals.
Another empty trap.
Là, maintenant, moi,
always up for a good job.
Oh, journal, carte. Cabane des pêcheurs. Attends voir, mais c'est où le hangar? Attends voir, il me manque quoi? Inspecter le piège, ok ça. Inspecter le piège près des hangars à bateau à l'ouest. Les bâtiments de Feld. Ouest. Allez-vous-en. Ok. Super. Où ça le hangar à bateau? Sur le... Ah non, c'est pas sur le quai. Là, c'est le bâtiment Feld. À l'ouest. Là, c'est l'est. C'est pas le même. Ah, ok, c'est sûr, ok. Celui-ci, ok.
This trap's not behind you. When this district, nothing but locusts in this trap as well.
Empty as all of them.
Bon, ça a fatigué.
No, I'm fine. I didn't mean to complain, it's...
Hop.
This is the last of the traps. The one Morel just set. Checking it over, he said, is just a The reeds by the abandoned campsite hiss and shake. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. The trap feels light and silent as you pick it up. Something is different here. No locust. No phasmid either, but still.
Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though. Unless you see one in there, I just see an empty trap. Right. Anyway, that's for the cryptozoologists to figure out now. We are not cryptozoologists.
The reeds by the later it gets.
Ok. Est-ce que je peux me TP? Il n'y a pas moyen de se TP? Hop. Fond de mer. Ok. Alors je vais juste regarder. Disco Elysium. Fast Travel. Attends, fast travel comme ça. Ouais, j'ai l'impression qu'on peut pas... Carte... Ok. Alors, il y a 3 endroits spécifiques apparemment qu'on peut. Alors je vais aller à l'église. Apparemment depuis là-bas on peut fast travel. Juste envie de voir, alors il est 15h36, j'ai envie de voir un truc aussi. Hop. Sauvegarde, hop. Ici. 15h36. Ok, ça ne prend pas de temps de fast travel, ça c'est bien. Qui c'est le mec en bleu là?
Again? I can't believe this shit.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him.
Ok. Alors, on va appeler à la radio. Hop. Pour l'enquête déjà, hop.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glove.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Je sais un cadavre sur le cornet de me voir.
One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
Homme d'âge moyen, non identifié, taillé 1m75, cheveux bruns, corpulence moyenne, on dirait qu'il a glissé sur un trou, promenade avec son crâne heurté à blanc de métal.
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him, and traces of vomit on his shirt.
Any signs of violence?
Non, on dirait que c'était un accident.
No field autopsy necessary. What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes?
Portait des bottes, un pantalon, une vieille veste en cuir avec un liseré bleu clair, et je trouve une carte de bibliothèque dans ses poches.
Any information on the library card?
Elle vient de la bibliothèque municipale de Jamrock, sortait au nom de quelqu'un qui s'appelle Billy Mayjean.
Good. You have a lead. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it to someone else?
On va s'occuper de cette affaire.
I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue.
Parfait.
That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Mettez-moi en relation avec la bibliothèque municipale de Shamrock.
Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I've already introduced you to their librarian. Connecting the call in 2, 1.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer?
He sounds worried, yet ready to assist. This is how people get when the police call.
J'ai besoin de toutes les informations que vous pouvez me donner au sujet de Billy Méjean, l'un de vos membres.
Billy Méjean, you said. Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database.
On Moreau Drive in central Jamrock, in a darkened hall, lit by orange desk lamps, far away from the noise outside, a middle-aged man taps commands into an old radio computer. A printout falls on the desk. Behind him, a lonely reader scours some dusty bookshelves, looking for a paperback.
Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Méjean's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately.
Oui, l'adresse de son domicile nous intéresse.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment number 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Capeside Apartments, it says.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
Les deux informations sur Billy Méjean?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day.
Avec qui était présent ce jour-là?
Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Méjean? They returned a Tybalt book the other day. Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87.
Billy Méjean est une femme et pas un homme. Comment votre collègue sait-elle que c'était son mari?
Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books for her.
And then goes for a little drink later, on the lookout.
Connaissez-vous le nom de son mari?
No. Marie only knows him by sight.
Ok. Est-ce que Marie peut me le décrire, le mari?
Marie? She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two the last time she saw him.
Qu'est-ce qu'il portait comme vêtements?
1 second. Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that.
Merci, c'est bon, j'ai plus d'autres questions.
Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Anything else you need from me?
Alors ici, marche-feu, arrêtez-moi au sur le poste 41.
Right.
10-4, come in. Fireworker, over.
Je suis heureux de vous apprendre que j'ai trouvé mon insigne, Jules.
10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to you then. Over.
Feels good to get that off your chest, right? Celebration with beer?
J'ai l'impression que j'ai jamais discuté de certains détails personnels.
10-4, sir. Sorry, but I'm under orders to give a negative to request for personal information. Over.
C'est-à-dire que vous ne pouvez rien me dire sur moi, mais c'est moi.
10-4. Orders are still orders. Anything else? Over.
Tout pour le moment.
Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
Ok. Parfait. Juste aller fermer les volets et je reviens. À tout de suite. Hop là, bon voilà. Ah, le mec de Wild Pine n'est plus là. Une question d'argent, vous savez. Ah tiens, on va parler déjà avec les deux là.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out.
Ne faites
I
qu'accomplir
hope
mon
we
devoir,
haven't been
madame.
too much. Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Mexican origin. The pin is an antique, quite special.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull, with 8 eyes.
Vous m'avez pas dit que vous avez vu le Fasminé?
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Ramblings? Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But, darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it.
Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When all of a sudden...
Quand cette histoire arrive, quel âge avez-vous?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5 and a half in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
She'd just started forming memories. Real memories. Not the billowy haze of infanthood.
C'est passé quoi?
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy.
She had no fear, just surprise.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left.
Vous l'avez suivi?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there, knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Where did you go?
Oui, je suis allé. Et ensuite?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
Vous étiez en rendez-vous?
Our first, yes.
Ses membres sont blancs?
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
Quelle taille faisait-il?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
Peut-être imaginer, Elena.
How could she? Who imagines this? She didn't know about the phasmid. This is the main thing here, what makes it a confirmed sighting. She had no previous knowledge of the insect.
That's true, yes. I'm almost certain neither my mother nor my grandmother knew of it. It was only when I started telling my story as a teenager that boys would tell me, Lena, you trying to tell us you saw the Insulindian phasmid out there in those reeds? Get out of here. They just give me a cider and ruffle my hair and tell me to stop dreaming. But I saw it.
Qu'en pensez-vous?
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
But I don't believe it. A child left unattended on a warm day. Children make up stories and then end up believing them.
Merci d'avoir partagé votre expérience avec nous.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just...
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own. Into them.
I couldn't possibly shower thanks on you as enthusiastically as my wife has, but I am grateful for your assistance, officer.
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
Je vais vérifier tous les pièges.
Good. Okay. And?
Le 2 était vide.
Completely empty?
Il n'y avait rien dans le piège, ni sauterelle, ni phasmidés.
No locusts? No phasmid eye?
That's not ideal, but...
Le piège vide était celui du camp. Peut-être qu'il faut prendre ce paramètre en compte.
I definitely left that one stocked.
Right from the campsite? Just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
Of course, more clever.
You're dealing with a subject near and dear to their hearts. It might behove you to tread light.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps. Make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Ça fait sonner un secret chasseur. Et tous les autres...
Of course. Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture. Mine stands, okay? Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional.
Nice.
This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Ravachol, is your...
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened?
Thank you, it's an honor.
Hmm.
We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but...
Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? The lieutenant looks out the window, impatiently. Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
Je crois qu'un petit voyant du nom de Kuno a volé cette
A little hooligan. But what would a child want with bags?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
Je vais parler au petit chimpanzé pour tirer cette affaire au clair.
Delinquents. My favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
This is a slippery one. He may respect the law, but mostly wants to pass under the radar. You won't get a chance to talk after you walk out of here. He hasn't been particularly forthcoming before. He may well still be hiding something. After he's left, it's too late.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs. Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Geary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. Wigan?
The first man to break formation is always a blow to leadership. This is bigger.
C'est lui, Gary?
I really owe you one for getting us out of those reeds,
L'aspect-là ressemble pas à ça, hein.
Finally got all that soot out of my hair. Yellow man. I mean, officer.
Oh, c'est encore un raciste,
The
putain.
lieutenant
Crypto-facho,
raises his
putain, j'avais pas
eyebrows
vu.
slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man? Feels significant somehow, him saying that.
Et pas
You should
les
ask him about it
grands espaces.
later.
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Personne n'est parfait. Vous n'avez jamais été tenté de boire un verre?
Oh, I've been tempted. But someone has to stay strong for Revacol.
Oh, ça.
Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
Vous savez quelque chose, j'ai de l'homme pendu derrière le wheeling and wagon.
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's...
He's not feeling very comfy in his clothes, is he?
My mug? Why would you think that? Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to anyone. Okay. I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer. You're not going to find me, are you?
Using a standard form, officer. It's 50 real. You're getting off easy. In return, we expect information. You have questions to answer, sir.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law.
Here we go. Start pumping that sweet info.
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Ah oui, pourquoi cherchez-vous à accéder à l'ensemble des ordures ménagères de la ville?
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Hemians run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Gary, est-ce que vous avez mis les vêtements de l'homme qui a été lâché derrière le rack dans la benne à ordures?
Officer, please. Let me explain.
Allez-y.
I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Oui, c'est bon. Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait?
Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty.
Vous savez quelque chose à propos de l'armure de la victime?
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
There's something going on here. You should observe him more closely after this topic is concluded.
Ouais. Parlons d'autre chose.
I hope I can help your investigation, in my small way.
Don't be so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
Enfin, pourquoi est-ce qu'il s'agit de comme ça? Il faut analyser la gestuelle.
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out from underneath.
Ah, est-ce qu'il porterait pas aussi une partie d'armure, lui aussi? Il aurait piqué sur le cadavre. Il a quand même un peu balèze.
No, he's scrawny. Try again.
Quelque chose qu'il porte en dessous.
Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles, stolen from the corpse in the yard near where he lives.
Je constate que vous êtes amateur d'équipements militaires sophistiqués.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
Sous une fine couche de plaques imbriquées, les autres couches en torse et massif.
This shame is surprisingly sincere.
Gary, what's going on?
Dépouille un cadavre, putain.
I took the hanged man's cuirass. I didn't mean to.
Est-ce que c'est Vard qui t'a dit de faire ça?
God damn it, Gary.
I know.
Shame on you. Give the cuirass to the officer at once. Gary didn't mean to interfere with your investigation, officers. He's just thick-headed and poor as dirt. But he's always helped us, given us a place to stay. And he's followed Morel into God knows what jungles.
He's a loyal friend.
Et cette armure tout de suite.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. The cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view. Soon it is in your hands.
Si vous me disiez la vraie raison pour laquelle vous avez mis les amis dans la benne.
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they'd scattered his clothes all over the yard. Everything was smelling. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They all say he wasn't from here. Only the cuirass was left, so I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have... Fuck.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up now.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. Sealite officers commanded the suzerain's navy. Most of them sided with the king when...
It's difficult to say what the lieutenant thinks of this historic apology. His face does not belie emotion.
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I saw you.
He's a scaredy cat.
C'est qui a tué le pendu?
I always thought it was the Union. Some Union hardasses. Lynched him because of the strike. But almost everyone in town knows that. I wish I could tell you more.
Comptez-vous des stagiaires, Gary?
Yes, absolutely.
Parfait.
I will never do anything like this again.
Vous êtes aussi cryptozoologue?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
What does he do then? This feels like a good opportunity to dominate him.
Si vous n'êtes pas cryptozoologue, qu'est-ce que vous faites dans la vie?
Oh, this and that.
Intéressant, c'est louche.
Officer, I would never. I just didn't want to bore you with unnecessary detail. I work as a special courier. You know, urgent deliveries, overnight deliveries, deliveries to out-of-the-way locations. Oh, I don't know the contents, officer. Part of my job is discretion.
100% on va le retrouver mort et c'était lui qui transportait la drogue.
He's trying too hard to seem untroubled by your question. The rigidity in his posture gives him away.
Vous livrez de la drogue?
No. That's far too dangerous. Besides, dealing drugs isn't for people like me and you.
Vous livrez des armes?
No, nothing like that. I leave that to companies with hundreds of years of tradition in arms manufacturing. No need for an amateur like me cutting in.
Est-ce que vous transmettez des lettres aux maîtresses secrètes des membres placés du gouvernement et des entreprises?
What do I look like? A pansy? Besides, that kind of cavorting goes against the community values that would strengthen our city.
You're a simple cop asking a simple question. He can't beat around the bush much longer.
Allez, l'histoire de la benne ordure est déjà assez louche, comme ça, arrêtez d'esquiver la question.
Okay, fine. You got me. I'm a special topping pie delivery courier.
Comment ça?
You heard me. I deliver topping pies. It's temporary. I'm looking for another job. Not many jobs for good men out there these days.
Vous avez dit que vous livrez des tartes spéciales. Qu'ont-elles de spécial?
They're wheat-free and vegan and huge.
He's thinking of a way to gain some advantage from his embarrassing situation.
That's basically it. I'm a pie delivery man. How about we change the subject?
Ouais.
I'm satisfied. Are you satisfied?
Vous l'avez attelé devant mon collègue Kitsuragi.
I'm sorry for what I said.
This man is truly sorry for underestimating the honor and military might of the Ceolite man.
Je comprends bien, Gary, vous habitez loin, pas loin d'ici, dans un appartement à Martinez, montrez du doigt.
Sure do, officer.
Est-ce que vous avez retrouvé votre porte ouverte derrière moi?
In my home. Yes. When I was going to... How did you know?
Monsieur Edward Clare a jugé nécessaire de déverrouiller votre appartement.
Mr. Clare unlocked my apartment?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Non, faites pas...
So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, tell him I'll make it up to him. What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me.
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
Pour être honnête, je sais même pas ce qu'il m'a dit. Je suis contenté d'ouvrir la porte.
Whatever it is, tell him I'm silent as the grave. I was probably talking too loud in the whirling the other night. I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you, or the Union, just ask, okay? I'll try to help if I can.
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up with a lot of anger to keep it together.
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be unturned.
He clearly liked his squirming. He may even have changed his mind about the whole door-opening operation.
Merci pour votre coopération. Vous donc.
Can I help you?
Regardez, j'ai un nouvel oiseau pour lui donner la gousse.
What is this thing?
Pas grand-chose, je me suis simplement dit que ça rendrait bien sur le mur. Je suis genre de flic.
What, the interior decorating kind? You know, I'm sorry. This is actually a nice bird. A competent piece of taxidermy. I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess. So, I don't know. Thank you. I'm going to go with thank you.
People just don't know how to accept gifts, especially taxidermy. He likes it. He likes the bird. It solves his broken bird problem. This was mostly about the fucking cardio. Massive cardio here. You'll live till 90, or you get a heart attack from running.
I feel good about our work here today. It's all about the little things, like bringing people random stuffed animals.
Merde, j'ai besoin de faire un karaoké tout de suite.
No, you don't. It's not happening.
He tries not to look at you. It's dangerous to
Pourquoi avoir installé une
acknowledge
sonneuse si personne ne peut s'en
karaoke man.
servir?
It's for no one. It's a prop. I'm not letting anyone use it after the great karaoke catastrophe of 44.
Il se passait quoi en 44?
A lot of people got killed because some arsehole wanted to sing karaoke.
Il n'est pas là pour la déco, c'est pour les clients, je sais qu'on l'utilise.
Okay, yes, it's for some clients.
Je suis un vrai client, je règle ma note et je suis en droit d'utiliser le karaoké.
Ha! Well, we don't have any tapes. They all got stolen.
Aucun souci, j'ai ma propre chanson, je lui donnais la bande de la petite église et sincère.
The man in the vest and the violet shirt stares at the tape you've just given him.
Parfait.
He begins to frown. This is the look of a man who's defeated. He knows he's out of excuses.
Fine, fine. Climb on that stage and do your thing. Just get out of my hair.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, time to do the damage.
Got the 20 real? Then
Pardon.
why are you...
Hop, sauvegarde. Let's go, on va devenir un chanteur professionnel.
The stage is all set up for your performance. Feels silent. You can hear the pellets creak under your feet. You feel a little dizzy, a little unsteady suddenly.
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
Art dramatique. Alors, est-ce que j'ai de l'art dramatique dans mes trucs? Oui. Hop. Art dramatique non. Projection. Encyclopédie. Ok. Ah oui, sacré cuirasse, d'accord. Que intérieur volonté. Une heure dramatique, ok. C'est quoi que j'ai? Un dramatique, il faut que j'augmente. Il est où? Un dramatique, un dramatique. Moi je le vois pas. Ah, il est là. Hop. Parfait. Petite sauvegarde. J'ai envie de réussir.
The stage is all you feel.
So, are you ready for your thing now?
There are some people out there, but mostly a post-meridian slumber has fallen on the premise. Not super light. Yes, you can always do it in the evening. It will be less scary with a lot of people.
Ouais, on va tenter ça plus tard, dans la soirée. Juste remettre... C'était quoi le pull que j'avais? C'était ça? Non, c'était quoi? Logique, je crois que c'est ça. J'ai les gants, c'est affinité mécanique, ok. Du coup, ça c'est bien crête, ok. Peu de camp intérieur de volonté, ok. On va parler avec Kuno, hop.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad? Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Est-ce que par hasard tu aurais des informations par ce trail disparu? Hop là.
No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about bugs.
40 des insectes.
Oh my god, I told you that shit his name!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to Lane prison!
She sounds like she's about to cry, out of disappointment at Kuno's newfound lameness.
Être mis dans le salguidra, les gosses.
Deny everything, Kuno. You need to lawyer up.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
There's definitely something going on here. Maybe he's got them stashed somewhere nearby. There's a suspicious shack in the eastern corner of the yard.
L'angle de la cour, ok.
Kuno doesn't...
Ça, la cabane suspecte.
An inconspicuous pile of the roof in...
Est-ce que j'ai des objets qui me donnent de la perception en plus? Non. Et en scène... J'ai rien qui me donne de la perception là. En scène, ça j'ai en plus un. Perception, perception. Perception moins 1. Ok. Hop.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
Let's go.
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
On va juste remettre un sang-froid mise en scène. Ouais, les bottes sont moins bien, les chaussures là sont moins bien vu que ça met un malus en mise en scène. Si on peut prendre ça. Ça sert à rien ça. Ça fait aucun bonus ça, hop. Hmm. 40 centimes. Plateau à poudre avec tas de poudre jaune pâle.
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror.
Consommer de la drogue ici, peut-être que la police devrait s'en occuper.
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. See that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use.
J'ai prenez le branlé. Non, on lui fait pour une campagne orientée sur jeunesse agressive. C'est bon, il sautera par ici.
All around you, The hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
Arrêtez d'être aussi sarcastique.
Oh, I'm not being sarcastic at all. We are making real progress.
Vous croyez que le phasmide national est tout prêt?
If anything, the presence of the locust points to the opposite. The phasmid did not take the bait from the traps. It was Kuno. The phasmid doesn't exist. But what do I know?
On devrait en parler avec Kuno.
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things.
Tête de cochon séché à l'air momifié. Enfin, c'est cette partie. La porte va bientôt s'écrouler. Puis la restauration parvient à... Carte postale, ok. Ok, on peut enfin accéder au toit ici. 90 centimes. 1,10 €. Parfait. Il n'y a pas un autre moyen de déplacement, ça non, on peut toujours pas accéder, ok. Hop, allons parler avec Kuno. Objet. Une autre carte postale. Tu as quelque chose de plus à dire?
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
Les hôtels des pièges
Kuno
installés
doesn't give
par
a
les
fuck.
cryptozoologues.
Yeah. Kuno took the books. So what?
So it wasn't the phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
J'espère vraiment que les phasmidés qui vivent dans les roseaux mangent les sauterelles, pas toi, Kuno.
Yeah, well, Kuno's all you got, bitch.
Tu dis que tu t'en fous comme dans l'an 40 d'insectes, mais ensuite tu peux reconstruire une ville.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Stop!
Hop.
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, night.
The girl forces herself to watch again. The lameness is causing her physical pain. The damage may be permanent.
Tu t'es un improvisé artiste maintenant.
Maybe I am.
Super cool, c'est cool de faire de l'art.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in like 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free.
Le bouton de sa chemise pour les déchirer.
Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Oh, don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
So that's what this is about.
Ça dépend des choix que tu feras, jeune fille.
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. Use this momentary confusion to take control of the situation.
Je vois la question, qu'est-ce que ça signifie si il faut que tu arrêtes de voler les sauterelles des pièges. Les cryptozoologues essaient de faire une découverte importante. Sauterelles leur servent de pas.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. C was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
Pose la question, qu'est-ce que ça signifie si les sauterelles?
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck. Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame.
Quand il arrive aux sauterelles, fais un signe.
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
Bon, maintenant que ça s'est réglé, je ferais mieux de
The
partir.
fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
Face midi, hein, celui dit. Hein. Plus tard.
The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
Ça, l'arbre là, il penche pas trop. Hop.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza.
Est-ce que j'ai plus de projection analytique d'en voir? Par hasard. À portée. Petit, logique. C'est -1, ça on va remettre. Hop, non.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that the tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager. Why that pang of guilt again?
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé ensuite?
The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building, before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
C'est là d'où je suis parti avec mon automotrice avant de couler dans la mer.
No wonder the cafeteria manager seemed frustrated when he was giving us directions to the yard. Well, you did provide us with a very convenient access point to the crime scene.
Je crois que j'ai pigé. Ok, alors je vais juste essayer de mettre un maximum d'objets qui me filent de la logique pour essayer la lecture putain, j'ai plus le nom. Rhétorique du contrat. Hop. Ok. Inventaire. Objet. Interagir.
You take the legal documents out of...
Je peux pas. Ok. Ouais, ça c'est au max, royaume de la conscience là. Mais y a pas royaume de la conscience, ça a rien ça. Oui non, ça sert à rien, allop. Est-ce que j'ai un pantalon qui me donne des bonus? Uniquement des bonus. Non. Pour le moment, on va garder ça. On va parler avec lui, hop.
Hello, officer. I
C'est
think
que
I
Gary
almost
cachait
have
l'armure.
it. A new trap design. Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of them.
I don't know what got into him, officer. Thank you for letting him off easy. He won't forget it. We'll make sure he won't.
Discutez avec ce gamin, Kuno, il a promis de ne plus chipper ce
So he was just a child.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
There won't be a next season. Not for this. Find a phasmid or admit defeat, people.
J'ai d'ailleurs la sensation que cette affaire empiète sur mon enquête principale. Vous avez volontiers, mais j'ai d'autres affaires à traiter. Bon. Peut-être emprisonner les pièges, accepter. Ah, pas attention sur le poser les pièges, c'est parti.
We are getting really carried away with this, aren't we? Fine, it's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
He wants to see this tale through, as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But he cannot let it drag out after this.
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
Wow. Co-discovery? You'd be famous. You'd show them all. This does tingle the pleasure center. This would show them all. We need to get you on that list of discovery.
Ok, inventaire, objet, carton en sauterelle, ok. On va aller voir déjà la cabane, la maison de l'autre, s'assurer qu'il n'est pas mort dans sa baraque, tué d'une balle dans le dos. Hop. Est-ce que ça je peux retenter un jet de dés là-dessus?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Est-ce que j'ai des trucs qui donnent de la conceptualisation? Non, rhétorique, encyclopédie. Scène, ok. Logique. Conceptualisation plus 1, on prend. C'est la même, donc ça fait rien. Ok, bon, on retente.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah.
Non.
Why must we stop?
Tant pis. Hop là. Allons voir s'il y a... Entends le bruit de qui coule. Quelqu'un fait la vaisselle.
The door is closed again. You hear someone inside. Walk in.
Ok. On peut pas rentrer dedans.
The door is... You hear...
Ok. Non, faut que j'aille au... Pas à la place de parking, mais au milieu de la place, pour me téléporter. 17h29. Est-ce qu'il va falloir que je ravisionne tous les pièges ou uniquement celui qui a été vidé? Hop là. De toute façon, il y en a deux qui sont près de l'un de l'autre ici. Donc on va essayer de voir déjà les deux s'il y a des trucs dedans ou pas. Si dans l'un les sauterelles sont barrées, peut-être que on va prévenir en tout.
The locusts aren't doing all too well, but they're still in there.
Ok.
The trap stands empty near the locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new surroundings. They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good, now that's done. When do you think? Don't answer that. It was a return.
He doesn't want to, but if there is one more cryptozoological runaround, he must force the invest.
Ok. Trouver le face mine, pas dans les pièges maintenant, retourne voir Lena winning. Ok. Parfait. On aurait été cryptozoologue aujourd'hui. Plus qu'enquêteur, hop. Hop. Du coup, de grosse casse musique vient de quelque part sur la glace. Map. Hop. Ouais, ça prend pas de temps de se TP, ça c'est bien au final. Fast travel c'est pas mal en vrai de compter un endroit spécifique où tu peux te déplacer facilement. Ah, passer où ce mari?
Hello, dear. Good to see a familiar face. Thank you for doing that, dear.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him.
Comme ça, il faut là-bas, au milieu des roseaux.
I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
Qui va aller inspecter les pièges?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
Allez, c'est parti, mon kiki.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
Léna, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Vous avez l'air différente.
Different? How?
Vous avez abandonné les recherches du Phasmidé?
I'm in doubt, sweetie. That's all.
Vous avez des doutes à propos de quoi?
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
Ouais.
And when a police officer asks, you must answer.
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Or a dream? Seeing the Insulindian Phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not.
Et Morel m'a dit que vous l'aviez vu, vous aussi m'avez dit.
Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
Elle n'avait pas eu le Phasmidé, je dois vous arrêter pour avoir menti. Vous avez l'air de croire que ça se produit, c'est important. Êtes-vous en train de me dire que vous avez inventé cette histoire?
No, at least I don't think I did, but Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the Phasmid's existence. That I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That, and for years his belief made me believe too.
That I am a queen? An extraordinary witness to grace.
But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was...
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything.
Est-ce que je peux faire une sauvegarde? Non. Dire que son mariage n'est pas fondé sur un mensonge.
An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care.
Vous savez trop peu ou non, votre relation avec Morel n'est pas basée uniquement sur le Phasmidé.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the Phasmid, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? Just another pathetic old couple. If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
Mon déchiré comme les femmes ou le mariage, ça se met mal à l'aise quand je pense. Morel, je me sens bien, c'est-à-dire que quelque chose, non?
Oh, of course it counts for something. But we've had our hard times too.
Okay.
I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived. On our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists, if I...
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
Pourquoi vous ne lui avez pas parlé de vos doutes?
I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time. What you have to know is the Insulindian Phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Le fait que vous n'êtes pas sûr d'avoir inventé ou non... Et que vous n'êtes pas sûr d'avoir raison, il faut que Un souvenir au diable, tout ça, je crois que vous avez bien vu. Le fait que vous avez pas su inventer vos noms.
I'm not sure of anything. Sometimes I still see it, you know. The real memory. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart.
Rising, unfolding from the reeds on a hot summer's day, like a benevolent god.
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
Vous certain de ne pas avoir besoin d'aide pour retourner chez Gary?
Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
Je vais aller inspecter les pièges une dernière fois.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
Pouvez-vous me donner une adresse au cas où j'ai des nouvelles?
Okay, it's 1113 Tabernacle Road. Jamrock, but...
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
Faites attention à vous, Léna.
You too, sweetie. Thank you for everything, truly. Even though it turned out to be a
dream. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine putters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, it's snowing.
We should go too.
Je veux retourner voir les pièges en dernier coup. Pour m'assurer que je n'ai rien loupé. Je n'ai pas envie de passer à côté d'un cryptide, de devenir un cryptozoologue en herbe et de rater une carrière potentielle. Hop là. Et là, on découvre un phasmide. Ça sent incroyable. Ah, je crois qu'il y a encore des sauterelles.
The trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Most of them aren't moving anymore. You poor things.
Pauvre bestiole. C'est moi, il n'y a plus rien dedans.
A few locusts trudge along the wall of the trap. The rest are piled in a heap in the corner, dead. No phasmid anywhere. Poor things.
Pauvre chose, effectivement. Est-ce que quand je me déplace, elle est 17h50, IRL aussi, MDR, est-ce que ça fait avancer le temps ou c'est uniquement quand je me fais des discussions que ça fait avancer le temps? Est-ce que ça prend le temps IRL, genre ça prend vraiment une minute pour passer une minute quoi? Hop.
Just dead and dying locusts, and the slow swaying of surrounding reeds. Poor things.
Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Oh, c'est la démarre qui maîtrise sous un rocher. Ou même si ça vous semble important. Tiu Mu Thierry, ok. Merde. Faut que je ressors. On va se TP au truc des pêcheurs, ça sera plus rapide. Hop. Que d'y aller à pied. En vrai, l'ambiance du jeu est très très cool, l'histoire aussi. Voir que notre personnage est une loque humaine, c'est cool aussi. C'est moi qui était déplacé, non?
The trap is full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching. Still, no phasmid. Poor things.
Dommage. Je vais essayer de voir pour draguer l'autre, la meuf qui est sur le... Le preneur est à l'ouest, soit il était ivre mort. Ouais, ivre mort, hein, je connais les réponses déjà. Hop. Essayer de lui parler, voir si on a découvert un bel endroit où on peut la draguer.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Ouais, non, on fera ça plus tard quand Kim ne sera pas là. Je vais mettre un point en logique. Où est la logique? Ici, hop. Parfait, hop. On va mettre full item logique pour tenter de réussir un jet sur le papier. Pour voir s'il n'y a pas des petites lignes pourries du cul à l'intérieur. Là-dedans, rien de plus. Non, 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 ok. Petite sauvegarde, inventaire, hop. Interagir, hop.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. There is no loophole. The simple truth is, the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
Quelles sont les conséquences?
Once the construction starts, it will probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
I should have seen it. The people in the village are going to move out on their own accord sooner or later. All we can do now is not mail these to Evrata content. Your gun would probably stay missing, though.
Ça nous mène.
Let's go get it, then.
Ah, j'ai pas envie de leur l'envoyer, putain. J'ai pas envie de donner mon arme, quoi. J'ai envie de récupérer mon arme, mais j'ai pas envie de... Fuck. Fuck.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast.
Non, tant pis, je vais pas lui parler de la lettre plus tard. Ok, bon. On va s'arrêter là pour aujourd'hui, on aura bien avancé, ça fait plaisir. On a vu qu'Evrart est un véritable enculé. Hop. Sauvegarder, hop. On aura été cryptozoologue pour une journée, ça fait plaisir. Prochaine fois, on ira peut-être voir Evrart, on ira voir le mec à 21h. On enquêtera peut-être aussi sur l'église. Encore beaucoup de choses à faire. Le jeu, vrai, est vraiment bien complet niveau choix. Ouais, putain, je suis à 15 heures de jeu déjà, c'est pas mal. Après, hop, que je regarde sur Long to Beat, je crois que c'était entre 25 et 50 heures en fonction si on était complétionniste ou pas, qu'on faisait qu'on cherchait où t'avais les fonds dedans. Disco, hop. Elysium, main story 23h, main plus extra 32h et complétionniste 45h. Donc ouais. À voir combien de temps ça va nous prendre, mais oh ouais non, plutôt cool en vrai. Même si ça me prend 50 heures, c'est un bon jeu à faire. Donc is ok. Je le referai peut-être sûrement en stream pour avoir tous les succès. Bon, s'il y avait encore du monde, je vous dis la bonne fin d'après-midi, bonne soirée, bon appétit. Des bisous, demain on fera sûrement une run de Risk of Rain et on continuera ensuite Disco Elysium. Maintenant je vous dis des bisous, so long, et puis à la prochaine. Alors, arrêtez le stream.